see the drifts. At my front door. Okay, the day after. It'll be a little noisy here. We got some, got my wipers going. We got a little bit of some pretty cold weather here going on. The snow is happening. People on the road are driving. So let me start with this. Na pija yarwa na nishtahai. Say good blessings for our words. Pija numa shinami mogoi unii. Send blessings to all our Indian people out there. Nanishta humira namaga. Sending good blessings to all your relatives out there. Imudawe na pija nanishtahai. Pija shunami. Nanishtahai pa. Bless our water in a good way. Today is the day after. Also, we're seeing a heavy snowstorm hit, and it's in some areas it's a complete whiteout, and the drifts are piling up. This looks like a little bit heavier than the last snowstorm, and still got business going. There's still a lot of work to do, and continue to just keep pushing forward, making sure that we're still really sifting through all the footage and trying to hold those that, you know, we're seeing the footage accountable. Yesterday was amazing, beautiful day, all day long, and there was still a lot of work to be done. In the process of documenting, we had a couple of drone pilots that their drones still got shot. This morning I got a call from FAA asking me to not fly for 96 hours, which was weird. And we fly from the reservation side, which is the sovereign side of the tribe. And I cannot delegate any side of sovereignty away from the tribe, nor do I have any control of that, nor do I have the right to speak on behalf of the tribe, as I am just a helper and solidarity here. And I'll let them know that. Nor do I have I'm flattered that they may think that I have the authority to have every drone pilot throughout the camp, throughout the United States, and throughout the world that are bringing their drones here to also hold Morton County accountable and Dakota Access Pipeline. And so be cautious, all you drone pilots out there. We know that they are shooting the drones. They are using shotguns. They are using snipers. They are using some type of, I think it's Border Patrol, they're using some type of signal booster to land the drones, which we documented as well. And be careful, the wind is going. We know we got waterproof drones out there. We got some pretty high-tech people bringing out their equipment and holding the other side accountable for their actions on the First Amendment. So research what this is, because if you're having a no-fly zone in your area, make sure you understand the rules and regulations in your state, but as a citizen in your First Amendment to report that. And they're only letting one guy get a license, or, you know, it's called the 107. Google that, or help articulate what the First Amendment means in documenting where you are. Unless the president's landing or there's a terrorist attack or anything like that, then, you know, we would understand how that TFR is enacted. So I want you to educate yourself, guys. Help us educate ourselves. Let's start with making sure your relatives that are here are safe on the road. And if they're in transit, make sure they are safe. They have a shovel with them. This is no joke, serious weather. And I want everyone to be safe as they come through here and to on these roads. The drifts are already going across the roads. And you make sure you're bundled up. Make sure you have your coats on. I got several layers, and I got my teddy bear layer on, so we're stocked up. And gloves. Make sure you got gloves and a hat. Make sure you got a nice hat that is really going to be, if you have to walk, you don't want to walk, but that you're safe and people know where you are. Before you lose cell service, make sure you text somebody, pull over and text, because it only takes a second when you look up and you try to slam on your brakes, and you can't slam on your brakes. It's too slippery, even in good vehicles, no matter how good of a driver you are. We need your help in articulating the video we're seeing with the human rights violations. with the Geneva Convention violation. And also, I encourage you to look at the Morton County press releases. They got this new videos that say "Know the Truth," but you got to look at their officer in command, how he communicates certain language, the language he uses, and he's got no compassion in his words. None. This guy has no compassion. And so we watch his videos, and he's like, you know, I'm assuming he's got to be a grandpa, or, you know, he's old enough to be a father, way, you know, an uncle. And the way he communicates has got no compassion, and he talks about certain things in his language. We're also reviewing it to think, wow, what if we had an uncle like this talk to us like this, or a grandpa or someone like that has no compassion for the people on the other side. The Geneva Convention, when you look at that and the violations that we're looking at on the bridge on November 20th, when you see that they didn't have any response medical team on their side, they had no intention of taking care of anybody they injured or having access. So if you look at that highway, we're actually going to put it on a map to show how far distance the ambulances had to travel. And they didn't have those medical response team on their side, nor did they care. For 6 hours they were shooting. The hardest thing is to watch this footage and to see that there was no compassion. The officers were laughing on their end. Not all of them. Now, I'm also going to be sharing with you that not all the officers were laughing during this. Some of them were very upset that we've seen in the video, and we even have a few of them that were crying, not crying like, you know, but just the tears were there because it was cold. The water cannons that were coming out, that they used as a water cannon, as a tool. They use it as a tool. He says they use it as a tool. They used it as a tool, like a boxer. When his hands get registered, they are a lethal weapon. These guys were documented. They're officers, and they had the fire department there pulling hose for them. Local fire department. Good old boy system there. These are the things that we've been trying to go through the footage. It's extremely hard to be able to watch the footage and then document it and then see that there's something new in there, and they see that they were shooting 10 feet away. Some of them 5 feet away. They were shooting at the groins. They were shooting at the hands. So work has not stopped on our end. And also response with the FAA, what they responded that there was no proof that any of the drones were flying at the helicopter. So Morton County has a certain language they use, in fear of their life. See, this is what they write in there, because my stalking charges were in fear of the Dakota Access Security, these mercenaries that are sitting up on the hill. We also document how they looked, all opt-out and military, and somehow the drone was in fear of their life. They wrote in there that the drone, when it came up on the security, and it documented them. These are the guys that were harassing people coming to camp, and this is why we were there documenting them. Who can protect us from the police? This is another thing we have to worry about and document as well. Look at the 911 phone call from somebody that called in to have somebody go there and protect the water protectors from the police. We're going to re-push that forward so you can hear that conversation. You have to judge for yourself. We're going to add video. It's not just going to be conversation of me sharing with you. It's got to be supported with visual, legal documentation, so you can say, okay, the people of Bismarck can look at this video and show that Morton County only puts out their view of the press release, and then they run with it. We want to make sure that there's both sides that are accounted for. So these are what we're sharing with you guys, making sure that we hold them as a First Amendment accountable and to practice that. We're also, many people don't know, we're dual citizens of the United States and also of our sovereign nations as tribal members. So this is also where we are in dual citizenship. So we are on and off the reservation. The tribal governments have their jurisdiction, they have their airspace, and they have their own laws and regulations. So that's why Morton County will not cross that water. They will not come onto federal lands because it's not out of their jurisdiction. They know that, and they have to abide by the Western law that's in place for them. Morton County is also a corporation as well, enacted, I believe, in 1960. The desecration of sacred sites, those are the things to look at right now, because up on the mountain, the Dakota Access Pipeline is desecrating sacred sites continually, daily. So these are the things that we're bringing through, but we don't expect a governor to understand that if his mansion is built on the desecration of Bismarck's sacred sites, their grave sites. You can look at a documentary and see those things. I want to thank you guys, your historians in Bismarck, for sharing me that information and helping articulate that notion that the governor's mansion is on the gravesite. I want to thank people out there that are okay with me sharing that. It is certain people that they don't believe in what's happening here is okay, and they don't believe the local newspapers are reporting both sides of the story. If they only see one side, it helps them say, okay, we only see there's one side. So the best we can is help educate and empower our viewers, empower our people to share the story and clear as possible with really visual facts, as we're gonna have to do, as a lot of our water protectors have felony charges that were fabricated at them. These charges would not be anywhere else in the country standing, and as they go to court, they get thrown out of court. So again, need your help. If you look at the footage and you see something in there we're missing, do your best to just stay in contact and continue, as there's hundreds and hundreds of comments coming in. And I would say only a few of those comments are rude, but that's okay, because you need every side of the story. I'm not encouraging rude comments, but I encourage you guys to be having those with educated rudeness, at least coming back with the why you're saying it, not just be rude. So many blessings, relatives. We're gonna head over to the camp again a little bit later and show you guys. People are driving in this snowstorm. This is a pretty heavy snowstorm. If you can see, that's almost a complete whiteout. Holy, just ice just went all in my car right there. Stay safe.